Okay, guys. Good evening. It is Monday, May 15th, 2017. It is 6:41 p.m. New York time, and I just want to make a quick video here. A little bit of an update, a little bit of an Elliott Wave lesson here on a pattern. So we're going to just combine the two here and try to make this as short as possible. So look forward to your feedback. So last week on, what was it, Wednesday, I believe? Yeah. Last week on Wednesday, we had the Kiwi cash rate and statement and press conference. It happened between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. New York time last week. And as expected, they left the OCR, the official cash rate, the same. Okay. And of course, to just remind you, this is basically the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, the RBNZ's interest rate, monetary policy. And this is the interest rate at which banks lend balances held at the RBNZ to other banks overnight. Okay. So, it's basically the interbank interest rate. And all central banks set this. Okay. Now, as expected, they did not change the rate. They left it at 1.75%. Generally speaking, when they increase a rate, that's hawkish or bullish for the currency, and when they decrease a rate, that's dovish or bearish, because they're trying to stimulate growth. The economy's slow. They try to stimulate growth by dropping the interest rate, getting people to borrow money. It lowers interest rate for credit cards, mortgages, etc., etc. And when they raise it, just the opposite. Now, they were not expected to raise it, and they did not. The trick came in this with the rate statement. The market generally felt that due to some recent positive Kiwi headline economic data, that the RBNZ would take kind of a hawkish, bullish tilt to their rate statement and the press conference. However, that's not what happened. They actually struck a pretty dovish, bearish tone. It took the market by surprise and kind of disappointed the bulls, and so people bailed, and the Kiwi sold off. Okay, so that was the catalyst for this last big move in the Kiwi. So, and if you're not following the fundamentals and what's going on in the news, then you would have been caught totally off guard by this move. And I belong to a couple of Facebook groups for Forex, and I saw a lot of posts that night saying, what happened to the Kiwi? Everybody taking screenshots saying, oh my God, and again, if you had known this was coming, then you would have you wouldn't have been caught off guard. And there's nothing wrong with using technicals, because I use technicals. I'm an Elliott Wave trader primarily, but I follow the fundamentals. You got to know what's going on with the fundamentals. If you don't, you're trading with a half an eye open, or one eye open at best. Okay. So that was the catalyst for this. So now let's go back to the chart. And this big giant green candle and these little subsequent small ones here was that initial move up. So this is when the news came out right here. We saw the Kiwi rally 300 pips in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 hours. Well, it actually came up here and just chopped around. Really, in about 2 hours, it made this high. And then it just chopped around for a few more hours. 300 pips. So as you can see, I'm in it right here. Now you say, well, what happened down here? I actually did get into it about here, and then I closed the trade before the weekend because I wasn't going to be around to really watch the market this morning. But I had a stop in place, a buy stop, to get me back in, which was triggered this morning right here. So I did make a couple hundred pips on this move up. I could have just probably stayed in it and just threw the drawdown, but I wasn't around, so I didn't want to do that. But I did want to point out basically what this Elliott Wave pattern on this corrected move, because whatever you want to call this price action right here, it doesn't look very good. I don't think I've got any drawing tools lined up here, but it doesn't matter. Let's see here, like shapes or anything. Let's see. Sorry, I shouldn't have done this before. I'll just add the rectangle, close. Okay. So, you know, what I'm talking about is this area right here. You know, basically from pretty much this right here, okay? So what happened was, now I'm going to take this off because I don't want to look at it. So basically what happened, we had this big move up. So here's your reference, big, strong, impulsive move up. And then we had this chopping around, and this was, you know, basically this was Thursday. This was like overnight Wednesday after the news came out until basically early today, okay, early this morning during London, okay? That's what all this is. This is an hourly chart, okay? And what you have here, from an Elliott Wave standpoint, is an ABC correction, and more specifically, what we call an expanded flat. I'm going to go over to my this other chart here because this is my MT5 account, which has the Elliott Wave labeling tools that MT4 doesn't. So I'm just going to use this. Now, this one's a little different because this shows this huge gap here on the move up where my live account doesn't, but it doesn't matter. So again, here's that big move up, big giant gap in the chart, and then we chopped around. So basically, in Elliott Wave, when you've got this type of move, is called a flat correction, where basically the price action is sideways. It's 3 waves, ABC, but it's pretty much flat. So it generally unfolds in wave A as 5 waves down, and I'm not going to bore you with counting waves in this move down, but just take it essentially this is a wave A. If you go down to a lower time frame, you could probably find 5 waves in here, but it's just by the shape. You don't have to necessarily count anything. And then wave B is 3 waves, and you can clearly see wave B, ABC. So wave B itself is an ABC, ABC, and that's wave B. And then wave C is 5 waves down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Again, if you went down to a lower time frame, you'd be able to count this. So this is probably, like I said, 1, 2, 3, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Again, not really necessary to see it. And then this is where we end up early during London. And you can see if you put a horizontal line here, you know, we pretty much came right back. So people will look at this and say, what the heck is this? So the reason why we call this a flat, again, is in Elliott Wave terms, because it's basically sideways, choppy action like this, as opposed to a zigzag correction, which is 3 waves down, but it's kind of steep. So this is a flat correction. The reason why I call this an expanded flat is because wave B, the high of wave B in this case, goes beyond the origin of wave A. So this is where wave A started, down, and then you had B up. And you see this high is higher than here. So when wave B goes beyond the origin of wave A, we call it an expanded flat, but it's still a flat nonetheless, okay? So if this high had closed, you know, down here, you know, at the same level, we just call this a regular flat. But it's an expanded flat because B went a little further than the start of wave A. But C, as you can tell, came right back to where B started or where A ended, depending how you want to look at it. So ABC, here's your A, here's your B, and then here's your C down. And now we're continuing the uptrend. Okay, so you know, it's one of these patterns that, and I'm going to go back. So I like this view better because I don't like that gap on that other chart. But you can still see it. I just can't label it on here without the, because MT4 doesn't have the Elliott Wave labeling tools. So, but you can see it on here too, ABC. Now again, like I said, you look at this and you're like, well, it made this big move up. Now what is the market doing? I mean, seriously, like, what's going on? And if you had gone long right here, you would think, okay, well, the uptrend's continuing, but no, this is really just the last leg of the wave B, and the market sold off again and came right back. So in an expanded flat, or any kind of flat, a regular flat, wave C eventually is going to end up around the same spot as where wave A ended. And so if you had just waited for this wave C to finish, this would have been an ideal spot to get back in to this trade. Now, again, since I was not watching the market early this morning, I had this buy stop set, and I wanted it to confirm. So I probably could have just bought it here, but I wasn't in front of my computer then. I had placed this stop before the market closed on Friday, and I just wanted to wait and see if this turned around and came back up, that it would put me back into the trade. It would take out this downtrend and continue, and that's what it did. So I did leave some pips on the table, but that's the way it goes when you're not around to watch everything. Um, so that's basically what I wanted to show you. So, again, impulsive move up, sloppy choppy, you're like, what is this? And this is actually really good one, even just for me. I took a screenshot of this and printed it out. Whenever I see stuff like this, I will take it, because we see a lot of expanded flats in Forex. Not so much from what I've read in other financial markets, but Forex market tends to have a lot of these expanded flats. And so this is a perfect one. Now, if we zoom out a little bit here, you can again see it right here. Impulsive move up, ABC. Now, I'm probably going to, I may consider taking this take profit off, because I think this is going to go a lot further. Again, I set it just in case it had some like really fast action today that I didn't see, and I wanted to just take something, but I'm going to watch this, and I may take that take profit off of there and just let it run. So, but this is what it looks like, and I do think this will keep going. This is a very impulsive move. The Euro Kiwi has been going up, and I also wanted to show you on the weekly chart. Here's the the Euro Kiwi on the weekly chart, and you can see right here we had this turning point. Now this was several weeks ago. This is a weekly candle, so this was at least a couple of months ago. We had this correction down, which ended here, and now we're moving back up. So I do think that this is going to keep going, and that this is just the beginning of this next move up, because this is clearly a correction. This is an ABC down on the weekly chart. Obviously, this is, again, it's weekly. It's very, very long here. I mean, this started back in September 2015. We started this correction down, but it's clearly it's an ABC. It's not impulsive. It's an ABC. So it ended right here, which means that this next move up, from a pure Elliott Wave standpoint, should go at least as far as this, which is 5,000 pips. So I suspect this is going to go for a while, and we probably, if this truly is the end of the correction and the start of a new uptrend, this is going to go at least up to back up to this area. Okay, so so that's why I'm saying you got to really dig down here and say, okay, are you in this trade for the long haul or what? And I have a take profit here, but like I said, I may very well just take this take profit off and just let this thing run. So in fact, I may add to my position if this pulls back a little bit more. This I think is entering down into another wave, a corrective wave down. This will continue back up into the London session tomorrow. But anyways, guys, ABC expanded flat correction on an Elliott Wave standpoint. Really, because like I said, if you're not an Elliott Wave trader, it's just price action and patterns. I don't know outside of Elliott Wave what you would call this whole thing, and I'm really asking. I really don't know. Like for a non-Elliott Wave trade, what would you call this? You just look at this and say, well, what is it? Well, in an Elliott Wave, you can name it, and it's like I said, it's an expanded flat. So, and it will keep going. So. Anyways, guys, that's it. And also from a news standpoint, something that may trigger this and keep it going, or may cause it to correct again for this week. Let's look just really quick through the news calendar here on Forex Factory. Actually, I've got my paper version of it right here too. Okay, there it goes. Running a little slow there, but okay. So on Tuesday, 6:45 New York time, we have PPI input for the Kiwi. We also have the GDT price indices. They're global dairy traders. They're milk pricing. Dairy is a big commodity in part of New Zealand's economy. This doesn't usually do anything. It's good for scalping or small trades during the day trading, but I don't really pay much attention to it, even though they have it as red level. But this PPI is a much bigger figure. Depending how this comes out, we'll look at the pattern on Tuesday before the news comes out and see where the market's at. But this could end the trend and send it into a bigger correction, or this might continue the trend. I don't really know right now, but I think for the next 24 hours, because this news is about 24 hours away now, I think this trend continues up. So I don't think there's any big euro news coming this week. There's really you got Draghi speaking on Thursday. That's always fun. So that's another time to kind of watch that pair too, all the euro pairs when Draghi speaks. What's he speaking about? Draghi, what's he talking about? Speaker notes. It actually doesn't say. Due to speak at the University of Tel Aviv. Okay, so he'll be in Israel speaking. He'll probably make some general comments about the strength of the euro. So whenever Draghi speaks, it's always fun. You can see a lot of volatility. So another time to watch the euro pairs, this, the euro kiwi or otherwise. But that's just stuff that's coming up. But anyways, guys, I hope that was helpful. Again, this is an expanded flat, and it's one of those things, one of those patterns you can identify and kind of know where it's going once you realize what it is, and that this is definitely corrective, and that the uptrend will continue. We have fundamentals behind this move in terms of Kiwi weakness and a little bit of strengthening of the euro, and I think it's a good pair to stay long in, and it may go for a while. But of course, nothing moves straight in one direction. There always will be corrections and pullbacks. That's fine, but those are your opportunities to re-enter. So anyways, guys, I hope that helps. Any questions, let me know. Feel free to share the video, post comments, Facebook, whatever. And I hope you all have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.